Hey everyone, this is Michael again, and welcome to my review of tonight's edition of Smackdown. And this was the go-home show to Clash of Champions, which is this Sunday. And I thought tonight's Smackdown, I thought it was just like Raw. It wasn't that good of a show. And as a go-home show, not that good, in my opinion. But SmackDown started tonight with Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens backstage. They were telling everyone to occupy SmackDown because both of them were handing out flyers with Shane's face on it, and they started what they would call it, the Yep movement, because they had Daniel Bryan's shirt where it said yes, yes, yes on it. It was just yep, yep, yep on their shirts. But that was pretty much basically what opened SmackDown, with them just handing out the flyers, telling the superstars and the people in the back to occupy SmackDown. Then we had AJ Styles come out saying that all he's thinking about is not losing his WWE title Sunday at Clash of Champions against Jinder Mahal. And he says that he will defend the title against Jinder on Sunday. Then the Singh brothers end up coming out. They showed what Jinder did to them 2 weeks ago on the Titantron when it was them versus Styles in that 2-on-1 handicap match where Styles did the Styles Clash from the ropes onto the other Singh brother. And Styles says that he feels sorry for what happened to them, and he tells them both to come on down to the ring and hug it out. And they both end up hugging Styles. And both of them, the Singh brothers, they thank Styles for his support, and that they go on to say that they want to be in his corner on Sunday for his match. And they both say to him that they are done with Jinder, and they end up calling Jinder a disgrace to the people of India. And they go on to say that Jinder made them, do things that they didn't want to do. Like they said that Jinder made them both, kiss his feet. And what was funny was they said it smelled like cheese and garlic made with buttered chicken. It was funny though. And then Styles shows on a picture of the Singh brothers and Jinder Mahal on the Titantron when they were at the WWE Live event tour, like a house show. And Styles knows that this is just a setup, that the Singh brothers are just setting Styles up. And the Singh brothers say that they are really done with Jinder. But Jinder Mahal ends up coming out, and Styles says to him, not to come to the ring. Styles ends up telling the Singhs that both the Singh brothers, he tells them that they both suck, and he ends up headbutting both of them, and then he throws them both out of the ring, and Jinder gets pissed off. And we see just Jinder get on top of the ring apron, thinking that he's going to get in the ring, and then him and Styles are both going to have like a little brawl. But that didn't end up happening. Jinder ended up getting off of the ring apron, wanting nothing to do with Styles. And that pretty much ended the segment. It was a pretty okay segment with Styles and the Singh brothers. And then we have the first match of the night, Charlotte versus Ruby Riott. The Riott Squad, Liv Morgan and Sarah Logan were down there. Natalya was on commentary through the match, just watching the match. And pretty much this was basically a typical women's match. Nothing special, nothing great happened in the match. Besides, Charlotte you know, end up, you know, suplexing Ruby Riott a few times. But Charlotte got the win, where she was outside of the ring. Liv Morgan and Sarah Logan were, you know, pretty much wanting to, you know, just beat up Charlotte. You had Charlotte punch Natalya, and, you know, Natalya retaliated to that and clothesline Charlotte outside, you know, outside of the ring, and that pretty much led to the match being a disqualification. So Charlotte ends up winning the match by disqualification. And after the match, you had the Riott Squad beating up on Charlotte. And they do the same thing like they did with Naomi, where they beat up on Charlotte just like they did Naomi, and they took one of the steel steps and put it, you know, on top of Charlotte. And then Naomi came out, returned. She ended up taking out Liv Morgan and Sarah Logan. Then she hit the rear view on Ruby Riott, and you know, we saw all three of them, the Riott Squad, walking up the ramp. And then from out of nowhere, we saw Tamina, Carmella, and Lana come out and attack the Riott Squad from behind. That pretty much basically, you know, ended that. But the match was Charlotte versus Ruby Riott. Was pretty much, like I said, typical women's match. Nothing special happened. Nothing great, though. It just felt like a throwaway match. Then after that, we saw Daniel Bryan. He was on the phone with Shane McMahon, saying to him that he's got everything under control and that he's going to be on commentary for Owens and Nakamura's match tonight, which was the main event. And you know, what was funny was Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn come in, and, you know, they're still with the Flyers, and they say, you know, occupy SmackDown. You know, really, they were whispering it to Daniel Bryan. So it was just that little segment with them. So, sorry about that, but we go on to the second match, and it was Dolph Ziggler versus Baron Corbin. Bobby Roode was on commentary for the match. And pretty much this was basically, you know, another one of those throwaway matches. Nothing special happened, nothing great. Just, you know, to get, you know, hopefully get, you know, a little bit of hype for, you know, Ziggler and Corbin and Roode's match on Sunday. So, but Bobby Roode ended up getting off of the commentary, and he went into the ring, and he laid Dolph out with a glorious DDT, disqualifying the match. So Dolph Ziggler ended up winning the match by disqualification. Then, you know, after the ref rang the bell, he gave Corbin a glorious DDT also. So pretty much that was what happened, and the match was pretty much throwaway, in my opinion. Then we get a, you know, Fashion Files thing with Breezango and the Ascension. It was a WWE.com exclusive. Thank God it was short, but it was announced that Breezango was going to be taking on Luke Harper, Erik, Rowan, the Bludgeon brothers on, I think it's on the kickoff pre-show at Clash of Champions on Sunday. So it's going to be Breezango and Harper and Rowan going at it, which they're going to destroy Breezango, which that I'm looking forward to seeing. And then the next match, it was, of course, Harper and Rowan versus Colin, DeLaney, and Joe Monroe. Another match that was, you know, pretty much squash. That was a squash match. It was pretty much throwaway. Nothing really special happened. It was just Harper and Rowan just being the hell out of these two jobbers, and then he had one of them scream really loud like "Wah!" And it was really funny. It was hilarious. I was dying of laughter because it was that funny though. But the match was hilarious though. But Harper and Rowan ended up winning the match. So now Harper and Rowan move on to Breezango Sunday at Clash of Champions. So then after that, we had Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens coming out, and Owens says, the Yep movement has arrived. Sami says the crowd has decided to stand side by them, and both of them stand by, the United of Change. And they go on to show the clip from last week when Orton took on Sami, and they didn't really like that. They didn't really like that decision that Shane made, where Owens had to be handcuffed to the ring rope. And Owens says that Shane is the worst McMahon out of all of them, and he's saying that Shane is trying to make him and Sami lose their jobs. And Owens brings out who wants to occupy SmackDown with them, asking for people who want to join them in this movement to occupy SmackDown. No one even showed up for it. No one even came out. Only Daniel Bryan came out. And so Daniel Bryan ended up coming to the ring and says, he's telling them, Owens was saying, we started this whole Yep movement because, you did it when you had, the Yes movement. And Daniel ends up telling them, the Yes movement wasn't about, him. It was about, the people. And he goes on to say that Sami and Kevin Owens are talented, and he's going to hope their match on Sunday will go, really fair. And he mentions that if they both lose, there will be no excuses. And Daniel also announces that on Sunday in the match at Clash of Champions, and Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens match Sunday, there will be another guest referee, and Daniel Bryan announces that it will be him in the match as the guest referee on Sunday. So it's going to be Shane and Daniel, both guest referees on Sunday in the match against Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens versus Randy Orton and Shinsuke Nakamura. So, so pretty much it was basically a decent segment in my opinion. Then the next match, it was Rusev and Aiden English versus the Usos. Before the match started, Aiden English and Rusev were out. Aiden was singing, the 12 Days of Rusev, But the Usos end up coming out, interrupting Aiden. And the Usos say, if Aiden was good, Santa would bring him new singing lessons, a toupee, a new tag partner, and a new tan, which was really funny when they said that. And they go on to say that Sunday at Clash of Champions, it's not going to be about New Day. It ain't going to be about Rusev Day. It's going to be about Day One-ish, meaning them. And that brings out Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin. They both come out and say, about New Day. It ain't gonna be about New Day. It ain't gonna be about Rusev Day. It's gonna be, it's gonna be about, it's gonna be about them. And they end up calling, the Usos weak. And Shelton Benjamin says, the only day that matters is Sunday, when him and Chad Gable take the SmackDown Tag Team titles. And that pretty much, after that, they started the match. Rusev and Aiden English versus the Usos. It was okay. Wasn't great or perfect by any means though, but it was, okay. And it was basically, the Usos taking out Rusev and Aiden. Pretty much one of the Usos were, just throwing around Aiden English. But Rusev and Aiden English got the win with the kick to one of the Usos to score the win for them. So, all in all, it was an okay match. Wasn't great or perfect. Then we had Renee Young interviewing AJ Styles about heading into his match Sunday against Jinder. And, Styles was, pretty much giving an interview to Renee. And then Jinder ended up attacking Styles from behind. The Singh brothers were with Jinder. And pretty much Jinder just laid out Styles. And that was basically it. And then we had, after that, we had the main event, Kevin Owens versus Shinsuke Nakamura. Sorry about that, but I was saying we had the main event, Kevin Owens versus Shinsuke Nakamura. And before the match even started, Renee Young was interviewing Randy Orton and Shinsuke Nakamura, about, do they think that the motives of Daniel Bryan and Shane being, the special guest referees in their match are, if it's going to be a conflict, in that match. And Orton says, he can't think of the conflicts that Daniel Bryan and Shane, might possibly, have. And Orton says, he can't stand both Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, and he hopes that they both lose their jobs. And Renee asks Nakamura if he agrees with Orton, and Nakamura agrees with Orton, and he says he ends up telling Renee, "Yep," just like Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. Said. But this main event was pretty good. It was pretty entertaining. It was back and forth between Owens and Nakamura. You had Orton and Sami Zayn outside of the ring, and the match, pretty much ended with Owens knocking out the referee in the match. Daniel then gets off the commentary because Daniel Bryan was on commentary, of course. Daniel gets off the commentary and he takes the referee's shirt off and then he puts it on. So Daniel ends up becoming the ref for the last minutes of the match. We have Orton then kicks Sami because Sami Zayn was interfering in the match at that point. And then you had Sami Zayn hit it, do a thumb to the eye to Orton. He drove Orton into the post, and that pretty much led to Nakamura. He was going to hit the Kinyasha on Owen. I always can't pronounce it though. The Kinyasha, whatever it's called, on Owens, but Sami Zayn ended up, interfering, trying to distract Nakamura. Nakamura then, hit Sami, and then it led to Owens hitting the pop-up powerbomb on Nakamura to score the win. Then you had, after the match, Renee Young interviewed Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, and Owens says, nobody's gonna, take us away from, this. And he goes on to say that that both him and Sami are the best in the WWE, and that no one will take them away. So that pretty much ended SmackDown after that. So yeah, so like I said, it wasn't that good of a show tonight, SmackDown. It was just like Raw. But as a go-home show, like I said, it failed to deliver. It failed to get us, hyped up for Clash of Champions on Sunday. So, yes, anyways, that's it for my review of tonight's edition of SmackDown. Thank you all for watching, and be sure to give this video a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, and until next video, which will probably be my review of Tribute to the Troops, which is coming on Thursday at 8 o'clock on USA. Tomorrow it's NXT on USA. They coming on USA at like 7 o'clock. So, but it's WWE week is still continuing. We had Raw last night. We got SmackDown tonight. Tomorrow it's NXT, and then Thursday Tribute to the Troops, which I'm gonna review that. So until that video, I'll see you all later. Bye.